What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, a.k.a. Countdown Ended, coming back to you once again for our Money in the Bank preview and prediction show. That's right. I'm joined by the one and only, yours truly, my daughter, Danielle DeMarco. Danny, say hi to the people.
Hi.
Glad to have you back here, kind of. Hopefully everybody's doing good during quarantine and hanging out, keeping themselves sane. We do have the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Danny and I were at the 2019 Money in the Bank when Brock Lesnar spoiled my evening by showing up and capturing the Money in the Bank, but we had a good time. We got to see a lot of people. I was the current defending and reigning Monetize This champion, so we had fun bringing the belt with us. It was a good time, and this year we can't even leave our homes, so how things have changed. But we're going to get right into it. Danny, I know you're excited for this show for a few different reasons, a few different matches that seem interesting, but let's break down the card. First up, right away, we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship being defended by the New Day, Kofi and Big E. He's taking on the teams of The Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho. We have the Forgotten Sons, new to SmackDown, and, of course, Lucha House Party. Danny, who do you think is going to win and why?
Last year, we also saw TakeOver 25, and we saw the Forgotten Sons in the ladder match, so they were really good. And seeing as they are pretty new to SmackDown, I think that this would be a good chance for them to win. So I think that the Forgotten Sons are going to win. Dad?
It's an interesting pick there. Yeah, TakeOver 25, hell of a show. We got to go to that last year as well. We saw them lose to the Street Profits, but they were pretty dominant in the match, so I can see why that would leave a lasting impression. Not a big fan of theirs, but I think the New Day retains here. I'd like to see Miz and Morrison take the belts one more time. I think that they were more entertaining with the titles. New Day doesn't really do anything for me. They've had the belts so many times at this point that really doesn't mean much, but feelings aside, I think that they're going to go ahead and they're going to retain. Next up, you want to announce the next match?
Next, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship with Tamina facing off Bayley. I don't really like Tamina that much, so I think that Bayley is going to win, or at least I hope so. I also think that Sasha Banks or Lacey Evans might get involved in the match.
Certainly a possibility with Sasha Banks getting involved. I'm not so sure about Lacey at this time, but she has been involved in the title picture recently, so not a far-fetched idea there. Honestly, I'm with you. I see that possibly happening with Sasha. But, maybe Sasha interferes and Bayley says, I didn't need your help, one of those things. I imagine this playing out the exact same way Bayley and Nia Jax's match played out in NXT. It's going to be very slow, plodding. The big girl gets all her moves set in, and then all of a sudden Bayley's able to, roll her up quickly or sneak out and get the submission. Something silly, but I'm not expecting much from this match. I don't care for Tamina at all whatsoever. Bayley's been a pretty good heel champion. Not great, but at least somewhat intriguing at times. I think the real, butter to this bread is seeing her and Sasha finally get it on. So we'll hopefully have that feud start soon enough. Next up, we have the WWE Universal Championship. Braun Strowman, the current defending champion, taking on Bray Wyatt. Not The Fiend, but Firefly Funhouse Bray. Who do you think is going to win and why, Danny?
I definitely think that this is going to be an interesting match, and this is also an interesting pair-up with those two. And personally, I like Bray Wyatt a lot more than I like Braun Strowman, so I hope that Bray Wyatt wins.
We've seen Bray as the, sweater-wearing version be victorious before over The Miz. Now, everybody beat The Miz last year, so that doesn't amount to much. But he was victorious at Survivor Series. I think that one of two things is going to happen. I think Braun drops the belt immediately tomorrow night, gets beat by Bray, and then they can kind of, have him go back to the fun house and deal with dealings there. But it seems like they're not too confident with Braun being the champion. This is his first title defense, and he really feels like an interim champ. We know the plans was that Roman Reigns was going to win the belt from Goldberg. That didn't happen because of the COVID situation. And from there, there's a lot of rumblings in the background. Is there heat with Roman? Is there not? Are they intentionally taking him off of things? I mean, it seems like the only reason they're taking him off and not mentioning him is because they don't want people to ask, where is he? Because then they have to admit, hey, we're dealing with a pandemic. So I think that's what they're trying to avoid. Makes sense anyways. So I think, I hope Bray wins. I think Braun might retain, and we end up seeing The Fiend come back and destroy Braun, and that feud continues forward. But Bray will get the belt back as The Fiend, so I think Braun wins tomorrow at Money in the Bank. The next match we have is the WWE Championship. We have Drew McIntyre taking on Seth Rollins. Who do you think is going to win?
Lately, Drew McIntyre has been looking really strong, so I think that this is going to end, and I think that Seth is going to win.
So you think the Monday Night Messiah has a chance there? He's going to go ahead and stop Drew's reign. Again, this is another first title defense, being the first show after Mania. I think Drew has to win here, but I think there's going to be some type of shenanigans that happens with Buddy Murphy getting involved, and it'll look like Seth is about to win. Drew will overcome the odds, but it'll be an excuse for them to keep this feud going further heading into SummerSlam. So then we have the women's Money in the Bank match. That's right. We have Carmella, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Asuka, Dana Brooke, and Lacey Evans all competing in the women's Money in the Bank. Now, both matches are taking place simultaneously, so they're happening at the same time. They have to start on the ground floor of WWE headquarters, not but, 40 minutes away from us here. And they're going to go ahead and fight from the ground floor, work their way through the trainer's room, the cafeteria, the conference rooms, all of it, to the roof to go ahead and climb up that ladder of success and get the briefcase. It's a pretty interesting, concept for this year's Money in the Bank, and that's probably one of the more intriguing matches and moments of the night. I'm really interested to see how long the matches are. Since they are happening at the same time, it can essentially be one match, and how they dice it up, because from what we're hearing is that they're going to start off with these matches and then kind of keep cutting back to them throughout the night. So who do you think is going to win the women's side?
I think that it will most likely be someone from Raw, so that leaves us with Nia Jax, Asuka, and Shayna Baszler, and out of those three, I hope that Shayna Baszler wins.
Yeah, you kind of noticed that too the other day when they said that Becky will confront the Money in the Bank briefcase holder Monday night on Raw when she returns from her vacation. And yeah, I think that kind of gave it away, as it's going to be a Raw star. I think Baszler is the easy option here. Asuka's a close second, but honestly, I think Shayna Baszler goes ahead and finally gets her win, and she could be that thorn in the side of Becky going forward. So she doesn't necessarily immediately need the belt, but that's something that they can build up to. So, and then finally we have the men's Money in the Bank. We have Otis, Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, King Baron Corbin, and late arrival AJ Styles. As I was saying before, it seems like late arrivals always win. I'm going to go right out and say it, just like I said, out of nowhere as well. AJ Styles wins here. Seems like it'd be a good, due of service for him to get a little bit of payback after being beaten by The Undertaker, twice? I know he lost at, the two-way trophy match, and then also at WrestleMania in the Boneyard match. So this is a great way for him to kind of get a little bit of recognition. And again, it's something interesting that him and Drew could face off going forward. Him and Drew having a really great series of matches. Sign me up. Who do you think is going to win and why, Danny?
Along with the women's match, I definitely think that this is also going to be an interesting match. I hope that either AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan is going to win, because I like both of them.
Yeah, you weren't always a Daniel Bryan fan, but I think, his more recent, heel to face turn, has gotten the better of you. So, all in all, interesting night. What match are you looking forward to the most, honestly?
Definitely Bray Wyatt's match.
Yeah, I really love everything they've done with the Firefly Funhouse. Still, they've tried to kill his momentum not once, but twice now, with the Hell in a Cell ridiculous loss, and then him obviously losing to Goldberg to make Roman look strong once again. So hopefully we get something really intriguing and interesting. There's many ideas thrown out there, and credit where it's due, but I think some people have some pretty interesting thoughts. If they make this more of a cinematic tale like what they've done with Bray, I think it could be good. So thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. Go ahead and comment down below what match are you looking forward to the most, and who do you think is going to win and why? Let me know. Danny, thank you as always for joining me, and I will catch you all soon enough. Stay healthy, and most of all, stay sexy. If you want to go ahead and announce the next match for us, Danny. I've got to keep all this. and I'm just going to upload it as is and show everybody the magic of what I usually have to edit and how it goes down. You always look so professional because I make you look like $1 million. It doesn't help that Mommy's got the coronavirus in the background coughing up a lung, even though she's faking it. But, all right, you ready?
SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, shut up, you. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Danny, if you'd like to give us the next match here.